Hey folks, this live is not brought to you in part by Transova Genetics. I have to say that. But it is brought to you in part by Arnold Palmer. I work the day shift and I'm sorry to say, but I have been drinking on the job. So, yes, I have been enjoying the motel. We got the heat cranked up. It is currently 70 degrees. Because if you guys have seen my TikTok and stuff, I haven't put it on YouTube yet. I don't train goats in cold weather. So I had to make sure that we really felt ourselves and we could let creativity shine. So, what's up, Travis? You should be right here. You should come out and be a cameraman one night. But got the harness on, the old bra strap, and like I said in TikTok Live, there's not one cow that I put in that Kent was like, she ain't gonna go. He's like, honest to God, I think that every single one that you put in the barn had a chance last night. I don't know if he gave me an attaboy, but that was the closest thing we can get to it. So, one thing that I've held off on all day is let's go feed the baby bulls. And then we'll gather some cows, put them in the barn, and do that whole thing. So, Dollywood, my mom's going there next week. So, Creed's in Disneyland right now. My mom is going to Dollywood next week. I've never been to Dollywood, but I'd like to go. Anyway, let's flip you guys around. That's how we do that on here. The show box is open because Cade was working goats today. So I'm gonna take you guys on an in-depth field trip. We haven't walked through the cow herd for a minute. Let's get those bulls fed and see what we're doing. So, barn kitty, be ready. Cows are gonna come at you. I do have an assistant tonight. His name is Tom. So he's done a really good job of sitting around not doing nothing, taking naps, and begging for treats. He's just about as needy, not quite, but just about as needy as the barn kitty. So let's rock and roll and see what we got. Woo! Sorry, compadre. Go, Tom. Come on. So, big things I'm looking for, just as I look around, I'm going to pull you off my chest. See how most of those are gathered up right here? The feeder is right here. She's at the water. There's actually 2 cows right there. If I can... there you go. There's 2 cows. Travis, you just let me know when you want to come. Let's go. Welcome to your Idaho sunset for the night. The damn storm rolling back in is definitely putting a damper on things, but it's a little prettier the more north that you scan. So whenever Travis wants to be a co-star, he's more than welcome. He's a local now. He lives like 3 doors down from Kent. So the biggest thing, we're looking for cows that don't look like the others. That cow right there has my interest peaked, but she looks pretty comfortable. And most of these cows aren't due until the 1st of April. So we're just kind of hiding and waiting. So couple lives ago, I talked about pulling a cow that got stuck in a trench when Kent was at the vet's wife's funeral. That's that cow. That's number 20. I hate you! But let's feed some bulls here. Stick you back in your pouch. This is the chelated bull mix that we got just mixed by our local feed cooperative. See what's funny? They all come running. They're ready for their groceries. So there's Moana's first kid. There's 173's first kid. 11K, 51, and 210J. If you don't know, 210J, his mom's a shithead. She's that red limping cow that we'll see in just a minute. But by God, she makes a nice bull. Beautiful bull. So, I have it in a bag right here. Got the feed mixed up. Get out. I swear to God. You little boys need to figure out little manners. There they are, happy to eat. I'm gonna try and zoom out here. There we go. So, like I said, 210J. Makes me mad he's growing a little baby horn on the right side of his head. But for the most part, these bulls they're kind of growing up into young men. Here in a couple weeks, they'll probably get semen tested. And if you're into that type of stuff, these bulls will be available. If not, then I'm going to keep them until they're 2 years old. So, Nainer, everybody asks, what's wrong with the horn? See that baby horn right there? People don't like horns particularly. See how there's a little horn growing on that one too? People don't like horns. And it's something that you have to treat with when they're a little baby. We dehorn all of our calves. And of course, these didn't have those little baby horns growing when we did that. Typically, we'll run them through and we'll put a brand on their hip. That makes me feel so cool because my brand goes on their hip. But the biggest thing is people don't like that genetic in their cow herd just because they don't like horns. So there's some guys that'll shy away from what they call a scurred bull, which is what these two are. See those little baby horns? Those are what's called scurred. So that means, do they really grow horns? Not really, but they just grow baby tiny horns. So those are things that we look for. If they don't grow horns, like these two, like 173 or 10K, they are called polled, which means they don't grow horns. So, man, they're really coming together in a nice little pen of bulls. Sherry asked what happens when they become two. So in our neck of the woods, you just think of it as a 16-year-old male, right? A 16-year-old boy versus a 22-year-old boy. A 16-year-old boy, if you turn him in with a bunch of ladies, he's going to run around and try to breed every girl. If he's 22, he's going to conserve his energy. He's going to be a little bit more mature about it. And at the end of the day, he's not going to spend his energy chasing girls that are going to turn him down. He's going to perform better as a 2-year-old. Not saying that they perform bad as a yearling, and that's what these bulls would be as a yearling. But they will definitely perform better at 2 years old. And I'll show you the difference. Let's go walk over here to the other bullpen where we have some what we bought as yearlings versus coming twos. So we buy most of our bulls, the majority of our bulls, as coming twos. And what that means is they're not 2 years old when we buy them, but by the time breeding season rolls around, they are 2 years old. So typically we want an 18-month or a 2-year-old bull, and that's what we bought Jack as. Jack was a coming two or an 18-month-old bull. Jack's birthday's in the fall. These bulls, obviously their birthday in the spring. So here's some of the heifer crop. You'll see some of these babies right here, rocking and rolling. So we got 22K. Trying to think of cows that we're gonna put in the barn. 176. That cow's mom, or that calf's mom, is going to be in the fall herd. I'm giving too much credit to 22-year-olds. Oh, come on. There's my horses. They feel disenfranchised because they're eating out of a cow feeder. And Mr. Bushman doesn't like it either, but they've made an absolute mess of this hay bale. So I can't pull it out and put it in a traditional horse feeder. He's kind of grinding my gears about it. But one cool content thing you're going to see this summer is I've already let Lindsay know my goal. Break these two this summer. We're going to spend a lot of time and get these colts ready to ride and probably ride them. So there's Cookie and then there's Little Red. You can tell who named who. I tried to be original with my filly right there. This horse, Kent calls him Little Red because he had a horse named Red and he died. He got old and died. And he's like, oh, yeah, we'll name him Little Red. But this little gelding he's funny. He's got a real personality of himself. This horse right here, if we're talking about stories, this ostrich face horse, you see the ostrich? I rode his mom all through high school. I was a team roper. His mom was the best head horse I've ever had. And your mom was a whore, mister. She got bred standing. I tied her to the trailer so I could saddle her before my event came up. There was a calf horse that was a stud. He got loose, and we had Mister my senior year of high school. That puts him at 14. You're an old bastard now, aren't you? And then there's Boudreaux. I bought him on Facebook Marketplace. God bless you. Boudreaux, the reason why he got his name is he's from Arkansas. I felt like Boudreaux fit. That's a southern name, isn't it? But I named him after my favorite steak restaurant in San Antonio, Texas. So anyway, that's Boudreaux. His old name used to be Chewy, which I thought that was lame. So I got Boudreaux. There's Kent's horse named Blue. Cookie. Mister. And back there you got Little Red. Here's the bullpen. We moved them places. Obviously, there's Steve being Steve. But here's a really good chance to see what we got here. This bull with the yellow tag standing right behind Youngblood, he is what they call a coming to. So he bred bulls at he bred cows at a year and a half. He's built like a brick shit house. He looks really good. Compare him to that bull in the back. That is Willie, and he's teeny. So, and then there's Clifford over there at the wooden fence, because why wouldn't he be? So, biggest thing about Clifford and all these other bulls is like Youngblood here. You see right here. See how he's built like a brick shit house. He's what we want, but he's not long. Youngblood was stiffed as a young gun. So the bad thing that I didn't do, other than like developing these little bulls that are up here, I gave them the tools to grow. Youngblood, where you at? Right here. Youngblood didn't get the tools to grow, so it kind of half-assed stunted its growth. Here's some yearling bulls that, like this is a bull that you will see calves out of. This is a judge son. Super, super excited. He's hands-on. I really, really like this bull. Turned him out in the regular cow herd like Clifford, and I think he put in work. But if you notice, see how he's just a lot smaller than these other bulls? It's not just age, it's the nutrition. Once they're in the bullpen, we trim them down. We want to give them the minerals and the tools to rebuild rather than grow. So that's why you see some kind of missized bulls in our bullpen. Do I think that Youngblood, which is right here, do I think Youngblood has the recipe? Absolutely. My fault. I was just a little short on the sugar. So you compare him to this bull right here that's a year younger. This bull was on grain. He had all the tools to go on and do great things, right? But what's funny is I was talking to one of the lead geneticists off at the Sentimental Association, which is Dr. Lane Geis. I said, does that affect their progeny? Does it affect their kids? And he says, absolutely not. Because there was a study done with deer that stuck in my mind. There was an interview that was done on a podcast about 3 or 4 years ago that you take a deer out of the Black Hills, which is relatively small. You take a deer out of corn country or Kansas, which is relatively big. And if you feed them the same diet, it turns out that they're the same deer, but it takes like 2 generations to get out of. And so I was super nervous about breeding Youngblood to Bell, which I did this fall. Super nervous about that. But he was like, no. Genetics are genetics. Seems like it's going to go really well. So all these bulls in the bullpen, you will see calves out of. I'm super pumped about all that. That means that not only are we going to have Angus sires if they're blacks, which is what we've been working with typically, but this year was the first year we let Youngblood into the cows, and we have a bunch of red South Devons in there too. So, and obviously you're going to see Jack. So, super, super pumped about it, and have a good night, mister. I hope you realize that I love you, and you're a big dog. it just pains him to be right next to cows on both sides. On that side, he's got the bulls. On this side, he's got the heifers. He's not a cow fan. He likes to bite them. So, he's a really cowy horse. We really, really like him. He's a tool in the toolbox, but also, probably what you're most familiar with is the fact that I use him as a decoy because he is the herd leader. So if I go to move horses, I catch Mister and everybody follows him. So, anyway, like I said, there's the heifer group. You will meet them next year in the calving barn. Move the bulls out of this pen, which, as you can see, pretty sloppy. But got them moved, and we're ready to rock and roll. Let's walk through and see what we put in the calving barn. How many in the barn tonight? We're just about ready to find out. So, here you go. We're looking for anything that looks like out of place. We're looking for anything with a tail up. Not comfortable. Those cows look pretty dang comfortable to me. Let's walk over here to the new pen. And see what we got. What's funny is Kent's he spilled about 8 or 9 bales. Looks like he spilled 3. That's to give you an idea on how muddy it is. But if you look, top of the mountain is socked in. We're definitely gonna get another winter storm. It was warm enough yet cold enough that I developed icicles on the Chevy all the way down. What about the ones from the barn last night? We did not have a calf in the barn last night, but you will see them right here directly. He gets in that groove and just does his thing. I'm gonna get that tattooed on my forehead, Cody. There's the goats that I like. They're low maintenance goats. You can see that I decided to give them some hay after they ate all of their Christmas tree that lived in my garage for 2 months. So that's the goats. There's the chickens. The chickens come out of that hole and they pick around, but they sleep. They crawl in that little hole and they sleep. This is some leftover seed that I spilled on the driveway. That's why it looks like the driveway. I put that there as hopefully the chickens would eat it. But here's the new pen that we built up. This is, I just put this cobalt water in a couple months ago. I can't believe my trench is settled. There's enough of a trench here to where there's snow still in it. But we definitely have fresh water to the cows. 22 is one we're watching. See that bag right there? She fakes you a lot. I think she's got a little bit of Holstein in her. And that bag, when she's about ready to calve, it looks like it's going to pop. But if you go to the Cool Kids Club, which is right here, everybody's enjoying a nice straw bed. looks like everybody's happy. So, one fun fact about 22. 22, we bought her from somebody that Kent knew. He's like, oh, yeah, they got great cows. She came with number 20, which is the cow that I hate. And this bodacious daughter right here. If you need to know any more, Google bodacious. That cow is an asshole. But 22 is Creed's favorite cow. I don't know why. I asked him why, and he says, I just like her. But big frame cow that turns out to have the best calf of the year. And I think it's just her genetics of being really tall and heavy built. And then we put a really good Angus on her. So that's 22. Looks like a milk cow. And then number 12 that lived in the barn for a couple weeks, she's over there in the straw. Number 12 builds a bag notoriously early. And so we're going to keep her out of the barn for a little while. Is that fence straight? Absolutely not. But Lindsay helped me make it, so it's perfect. You didn't see the bad side of that yellow cow because you looked away and then she jumped a fence, Cody. She let herself out the other way. Cody came to work cows with me, and that cow, she jumped the fence into everywhere else. And I went, oh my gosh, that cow is actually on her best behavior. I hate that cow. I think her number's 24, I think. But it's the only yellow cow that I hate. So, fall cows are out kicking around. Let me zoom in here. They're out picking around. I fed them in a different spot today. And you can see this cow right, trying to get my finger to show up, right there. She's on the wrong side of the fence. They busted through, and which is great. I don't typically like cows blowing through fences, but they wanted a little cover during the storm last night. They broke through. They put their calves in the cedar trees in the ridge, and they had optimal cover. So I'm not complaining. And we're going to rip that fence out, fix it up. So not worried about it at all. Here's a snowstorm that's coming through. Little bit of snow falling over there with the sunset. But in all reality, things are looking pretty good. I would say that we came out of this snowstorm unscathed. There's Tom. So let's set you guys up on the tripod. I'll get my headphones so you can hear me yell at things, and get some heifers in the barn. We'll talk about it. Come on, Tom. If you're gonna be the assistant, you gotta be on time. Whew. I have a feeling when I walk into this little room, I have a feeling somebody drank too many Arnold Palmers and baked in front of the heater. I don't know why I'd know that. Brandon says, I'll be a great water master this year. Nobody will be crying. Wrong. Bad thing about it is everybody will cry. So you try to hit a, and it's not that I try, but being a water master, you want to hit the sweet spot. Too little water, everybody fights. and they steal from their neighbors. If you have too much water, everybody thinks the water is theirs and they don't need to follow the rules. And so you want, like the very first year I was a water master, it was right in the sweet spot where you're like, I don't know, we might not have enough water. Everybody pays attention to the rules and they're very courteous to their neighbors. The last 3 years, thank God. God bless you. Thank you so much. But it's an absolute shit show because everybody thinks that they're entitled to all the water in the ditch and they can just willy-nilly, no rules, turn on and turn off, which still sends the neighbor up a river without a paddle. So, on a spectrum, I've been living more on this side than this side. Which one would I rather be on? This side. But in all reality, I want to be right here. So, yeah, we're sitting really, really good, especially after this last storm, and then with the forecast coming this weekend. Talked to some canal members tonight, some canal, they're board members or it's the vice president of the canal company, and they're like looking really, really good. So I've been watching. They've released the snow report and the runoff report for this year. There's a bunch of science into it. I don't want to bore you, but things are looking great for me. So in all reality, great for them because I told myself if there was a drought year, I was going to quit, but not this year. So I'm going to plug you guys in and let's get some heifers in the barn. Yes, everybody needs to learn to be peaceful, and water is it's life or death. And a lot of people don't understand when people steal water. What's funny is I posted a video one time, is when I very first started TikTok. I posted a video shutting somebody's water off because they were stealing it. And everybody yelled at me for, that's God's resource. Why are you shutting it off? You high man, little bastard. Why are you stealing? Who says you're in charge of God's resource? But in all reality, what I failed to portray in that post, and what I failed to portray going forward, is the fact that water is held very high regard in our area, and if somebody is stealing water, it is the same as stealing the groceries out of your neighbor's cupboards and fridge, right? If somebody came into your house and stole your food, you would realize that it is a big deal and you don't comply. And that's my job, is to say, no. That's how your neighbor makes a living. Let them have it. So it's what's funny though is the fact that people in parts of the world that don't deal with this stuff, they don't realize it as that. And I need to do a better job of trying to portray that, of like, you're taking the food out of their kids' mouth. And it's a reality here. Water is such a commodity to where, like, it is literally the lifeblood that we rely upon. So, do they think that their crops aren't getting enough water? On years like this, no. It's the fact that they just can be willy-nilly. They can turn on and turn off when they can't, but in all reality, I cannot. I have to measure what my ditch runs. So I take what is ordered in, add a little bit extra, put it down the ditch for those guys to water. And they go to the ditch bank. They're like, oh my God, the canal's full. I'm going to turn on. They don't think about their neighbor that's trying to water 3 different fields of crops. And that's the most frustrating thing is people don't think about their neighbor. And one of these days, I swear to God, I keep telling people I'm going to write a book about it. I'm going to write a book about human nature, all based on water rights. So anyway, let me get my headphones on real quick. Let's put some efforts in the barn. We'll talk about them. How's that sound? We good? You got me? Can you hear me rubbing on my headphones? I just want to make sure we're hooked up. Okay. Yes and yes. That's the answer I wanted. I'm going to put this panel in front of you. That way you're just a little bit protected. It's like you're the shark cage in the PBR. You're close to the action. Ooh, feels like you're right there, doesn't it? Absolutely. So we'll get the door open, and I'm going to take my assistant, you. So my assistant, he's been under fire recently. I brought him home last night, and everybody, which is Lindsay, says he smells like a dairy barn. And God bless him, he dives into the middle of the mud, chases cows for me. He's been actually really, really good. And what's funny is, if you don't know, I have basset hounds, and some basset hounds I paid really good money for. Tom was given to me for free, and very, very well, frankly, could be the best dog I've ever owned. So anyway, I'm going to go in. Let's sort some heifers off. You'll see them as they come in. I'll try and narrate everything for you, and we'll see what happens. Looking at last night, we had a full set of 6. I don't think we're going to be far off. So we'll see what everybody looks like. Do you remember the wing that I showed you yesterday? Kent was like, oh, how much did that wing help? I'm sure it made the difference. It didn't make a shit of difference, but I lied about it every step of the way. I'm like, oh man. We set those extra panels up, and are they in my way? Absolutely. But whew. Are they a pain in my ass? Depends on who's asking. If it's Kent, oh no, they're the biggest difference maker in the world. Go on. I'm gonna bring up Striper first. We'll tuck her in. Is her bag tight? Not necessarily. Definitely getting looser underneath her tail. Do I think she's going to go tonight? No, but she's definitely close. She was an easy grab. I didn't have to get everybody else. Come on, lady, come pick your poison. You're not staying in there tonight. Come on. You definitely rolled around in the mud on your recess. Good pick. Do this chain up really quick. All right. Bring you a handful more. I think 81 was on the list last night. She's right here in pretty close contact, so let's bring her in. Come on, girlfriend. Go on. Tom, get out of the way. Come here, Tom. Tom. Get it. What's funny is the dogs listen so much better when they don't have somebody that's egging them on. What I mean by that is you have Jerry, which is Tom's brother, and if you put Tom and Jerry together, all they cause is trouble. But if you have Tom by himself, Tom does great. Jerry, on the other hand, he's an instigator. He makes Tom make bad decisions. Come on. Other pen. This cow's pretty close. Closer than you would think. Bitch. As you would know, she should have turned and went into this pen, but she didn't follow the script. I'm gonna bring a herd in to where we can sort them out all at the same time. Hey, come on, girls, all of you. Hey, hey. Tom, Tom! Not yet. Come on. Hey. Tom. Hey. Go on. Hey. The red heifer knows. Hey. Tom. Come on. Come on. Hey. Hey. Come on. Hey. Shh. Tom, enough. Shh. Come on. Here they come. Ooh. Red heifer might be tonight. It's looking really good. Really, really good. So biggest thing about putting cows in is you need to make sure that they can see where they need to go. Especially when you're herding by yourself, it's really, really tricky because you'll get super, super frustrated. But if you look at it through the eyes of a cow, you're like, oh my gosh, they didn't see where they needed to go. They didn't see the hole. So the biggest thing is, if you look, does it look like there's a hole there? No. There is one, but as they're walking down the alley, they shouldn't see it. So you kind of want to work off of optical illusions. See? Went right in her pen. Because I made the optical illusion, right? So right now, I'm kind of giving her a cluster to where I'm going to put this cow up here, but she's going to run into a bunch of panels. She's going to have to stop, think, and say, okay, this is where I want to go. She can either go in this pen right here or this pen right here. I'm going to bet you this cow's going to pick that pen right here. 88, come on. Somebody. 81, come on. It can be you. 88's going to go. Enough. Oh, you dumb bitch. Shh. Thank you so much. But working cows isn't such a complicated thing. You just kind of have to think about it elementary. You got to think of it It's not saying that they're dumber than us, because I don't know if they really are. Cows tend to do some pretty smart things, but for the most part, especially in live action, when things are happening, if you're trying to coach your kids through something, you coach them the same way that you would coach a cow. Be really explanatory to them. Slow. Let them make the decision. Come on. Come on. Thank you. And we're good to go. And if you've ever worked cows, you'll find that there's always a cow that will circle, 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 and you're frustrated, they're frustrated. But if you give them a second to think through it, then typically you're like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. That's been my experience anyway. So the only one we're missing is 111. I will go get 111. You'll see her momentarily. We'll put her in this pen right here. All right, Tom, let's go find her. Where is she, Tom? Ooh. All right, got eyes on her. Good boy, Tom. Just about to make her appearance. And there she is. There we go. Easy, right? Make sure everybody's chained in. That one's good. That one's good. We're good. I'm going to turn the thermostat down. Currently 61 degrees in here. Somebody must have been walking goats around in a t-shirt. Come on, Tom. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Come here, Tom. Got her. All right. There's your 6 divas of the calving barn tonight. And I think everybody's pretty close to being in the same pen they were last. So, got this red heifer. I think if you're going to ask me who I'm putting my money on, it's her. You have 111. 111 is a second calver. This is her second calf that she'll ever have. Pretty good. I don't want to bet against her. Do I think she's going to have one tonight? No. But if you told me she did, I'd believe you. Striper's next. I think she's at least a couple days away right now from the red one. I think the red one will go first. But at the same time, it's a heifer. You never know. 81, I think that's the first calf you're going to see out of the barn set this year. We just started tucking heifers in a couple nights ago. I think 81, this black Bolly in the corner, I think she's going to have your first calf of the week. And then if you have what Kent's betting on, there's a red cow right here. That's Ruby. He's betting on her. And then you have 88. If you told me that she had one tonight, I'd believe you. So let's see. What's a coyote question? Random question. But do you ever run into coyotes where you're at? They ever get close to the barns? Typically not. One thing I wish that I could have done this year is do a trapping segment. And I know that's super controversial to a lot of mainstream people, the average Joe. But we had a trapper in here for the first time, and he ran a lot of traps. Always on the outskirts of the cow herd. And what was crazy is he ran into foxes more than coyotes. And with a high fox population for us, foxes don't come in unless they have a low coyote population. Because those are two competing factors, right? Coyotes eat the same things the foxes would for the most part. And so with the amount of foxes that he caught, and the amount of tracks that we were scouting for and trying to set traps for, there's not a whole lot of coyotes here in our general vicinity. But we just try to have faith in a lot of mother cows. We know that there are things that can happen, but we've really tried to keep the coyote population thinned out just a little bit, not only for these baby cows, but also the game bird population, pheasants, huns, quail. They all use the farm as a habitat, and that's hate to lead you into something else, but that's the Great Green Pasture Part 3, or Season 3. So we've started to do a little bit of work on that, but us personally, since we've been here, we have not had a predator issue with coyotes. So, and I know that differs from area to area, not even state to state. But for us, right now, so far, we have not had any coyote depredation issues. So, how's the one that had the hoof rot? She's good. She's getting better. It'll take her about a week to recover from that. So, we're not typically looking for her to be better. A little bit sore. She's still favoring it just a smidge. She's out here in this corral where she doesn't have to travel for food and water. Just wanted to rest up and get feeling better. And yeah, we got her doctored. I think she'll be a completely different cow in a week's time from when we doctored her. So, yes, the sheep guys around here will go after coyotes in helicopter. That's correct, Cody. So, what's funny is Cam, that I work with through Keelix, he always wants to come coyote hunting out here on my farm, and it's not that I wouldn't deny him permission. He can come hunt whatever he wants. But the bad thing is I feel like he'd get skunked. We don't have the population here, and that is also a keen number one factor is the government does a lot of it. But also there's also a private guy that has a helicopter. He takes some hunters out, and they'll go chase coyotes with the helicopter, and it's a predation type of a deal. he finds a little bit of fun in it, but also the biggest thing is the ranchers find a lot of predator relief in him doing that. So it's kind of a two birds, one stone type of a deal where the ranchers see benefit and he has a little bit of fun. But that's very active in our area. So, do folks have dog protectors? Not really. We don't really see a whole lot of like guardian livestock dogs or whatever. Don't see that a whole lot here, and that's because we don't run a whole lot of sheep in this area. A lot of our stuff is cattle, and so everybody in this valley around me, my neighbors, that type of thing. A lot of my neighbors, they run north of here in the summer. We run directly east. A lot of the neighbors run directly north. That's wolf country. There are no wolf packs in there. And would guardian livestock dogs do much against a pack of wolves? I don't know if they could. So, a lot of us around here, we are focused on maternal instincts of a cow. That's how a lot of us pick our babies that are that go on to be the next generation of our cow herd. We really pick them off of, do they come from a good mother that cares about them? We want strong maternal instincts to help defend calves, and it's really funny, especially when you put dogs in a cow herd. Some of our best cows that we can go up and scratch in the pasture, Barbara and Farmer Lindsay, hell, you put Tom in there with them, and they are absolutely defensive, and I'm worried about Tom. And we're just trying to get him to move through the pasture. So those are type of traits that we select for in trying to keep our cow herd going. So, and a lot, like I said, a lot of people around here, our neighbors, they're running in wolf country and bear country. So the maternal traits on a mother cow of trying to keep cows alive and calves alive, very, very highly sought after in our area, just because there's that environmental factor. Is there any other questions? We're still talking about coyotes. Yeah, the neighbor over here has a Great Pyrenees. We caught that in a trap when we were trying to catch coyotes. We don't run snares on our place just for the sake of Tom and Jerry. And anything else, we run foot traps. If you catch a dog in a foot trap, they hurt for a couple days, but they come out of it. Tom would know. So Tom got caught in a trap that was set for a coyote, and because there's a bunch of different attractive scents and things that you'd use. Not only do you put them on coyote trails, but you use things that like scents and other types of attractants that coyotes find interesting. Guess what finds that interesting too? A cow dog. So they were out roaming in the pasture. It was 3-4 weeks ago, and Tom and Jerry both found themselves in a trap. If I was here, I'd have shot a video about it, but it was Kent that was watching or not watching the dogs. So, but you can see that Tom's made a full recovery. He's doing great. But he was caught in that trap for a few hours. So, how's summer camp looking for next year? Summer camp looks good. We're getting a lot of moisture. So what's crazy is a lot of people, if you're not involved in the cow scene or the livestock scene, most of these cows, I would say 90% of these cows go to what we call summer vacation or the summer range. In the West, we have a multitude of different climates that we can work off of because we have the mountains. So all these cows will get turned out into the wilderness and they have to go survive. We turn them loose. They go live in the pine trees and the steep hills, and it's their job to make a living and raise a calf. And also, it's Clifford's job to get them bred because they get turned out during the summer breeding season. So we turn Clifford loose. He goes and finds cows, and we don't see him for 90 days. So these cows have what's called a summer vacation or a summer range, and they have a winter range, which is here around the farm. We calve cows in the late winter or early spring, but we have cows here from about the 1st of November, middle of November, definitely before Thanksgiving. They're home, and they graze off the fields that we farm, which is we raise a hay crop on them to feed the cows in the wintertime. They'll clean up the scraps off of the winter range, the summer hay fields, and then they come in here, get fed, and have calves. And then the other half of the year, they go up the mountain into the wilderness and they munch on the high quality grass in the summertime. And that's the thing is our grass is better because it's high altitude forage that is very, very seasonal. If you keep a cow up there, even if there's grass on the hill, it loses nutrition after, if you graze cows up on the mountain in late November, you're not really doing too much for your cows, but they get that fresh growth and they can follow the snow line all the way up to the top of the mountain. They're eating on fresh green grass that's growing. That's our goal. And that's when they get their nutrition needs met. That's why our calves are so much better versus somebody that might grow them in low elevation like Texas or in the Midwest. Are not they have to deal with a little bit of altitude, but in all reality, they do a lot better because they're eating on better grass. And then they follow the snow line back down. It starts snowing about mid-October. It'll push those cows out of the mountain, and they're like, by middle of November, they're at the gate saying, "Take me back home, please." So this is home base for them, and then everybody goes on summer vacation. And that is most of the case for all of Western livestock producers here, especially in our area. We don't run cows locally in the summer because we want to conserve that grass or that feed until they come home in the fall. So, like the Great Green Pasture that we're working on, we will see them eat on that as it's first coming up in the spring. And then about Memorial Day, they're going to vominos off to summer vacation. They will, whatever grass grows between Memorial Day and the 1st of November, they will eat that when they come home in the fall. So that's how that goes. You see that red with no tags, number 5 here. Munching on a little bit of hay that I threw over from the goats. She's in good shape. She's comfortable. And I don't think she's going to calve tonight. The biggest thing here, what I'm trying to do is not only am I talking to you guys, but I'm just seeing how cows act once they get in the barn. You'll see me glancing around a lot, kind of taking inventory. My biggest thing is Kent is on the night shift. So I'll call Kent and say, "Hey, this cow looks like she's in labor," or "Don't worry about it. Just check them 3 o'clock in the morning." Kind of let him know how they're doing. And not only do I let him know what's going on in the barn, but also I tend to kill some time on live of waiting to drive through. I'll drive all of these pens of the big herd and make sure that I don't see any feet or any cows acting not normal. So I'll call him here in an hour or two and kind of give him an update of what I seen. So that way he knows what he's getting into and he can make plans from there. So I'll show back up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, a little earlier, because I think I'm turning cows out. So Kent works the night shift. I'll dump cows out about 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, somewhere around there, and then I'll take care of the daily activities. Kent's job though, be ready to rock and roll at night. So typically, how our cows calve, I think that it's typically a wives' tail. There's a wives' tail out there that if you feed your cows in the late afternoon, you're gonna calve most of your cows in the daytime. I don't necessarily believe that. Tom, be nice to her. But for the most part, we calve in the daylight hours, and I would say that most of that was we followed the wives' tail for a long time, but we can't because we have an elk herd that comes in at night. So we try to feed our cows early in the morning. That way they have the most amount of feed exposure and they get all their groceries in and they're done feeding in the night. So there's nothing to eat when the elk come in. So once we switched to that, we didn't see a change in daylight births versus night births. You're always going to have a few, but we don't see too much of an issue. So one guy, a neighbor that's next to us, he feeds in the afternoon, and his biggest thing is if they don't come to eat, then they're probably in labor and they need to go to the barn. They self-identify themselves, and for us, we can look at that too. If they're at the feed wagon or at the feed bin, they're not going to calve anytime soon. So we just try to keep a watchful eye, look for things that aren't like the others, and we're anticipating all these calves or all these cows are probably going to calve in the next week, 7 days. And sometimes you just never know. You'll have a single, but then there's other times. I remember last year we had 3 calves in the barn the same night, all within an hour and a half of each other. So you just never really know how it goes. But we're just trying to keep a watchful eye on things and make sure that we can provide. We want cows, if they're in good shape, we want them to birth unassisted. But if they need assistance, we're here for them. So our thing is just kind of keep a watchful eye on things and make sure that things are going as planned. And if they don't go as planned, we make a plan. So anyway, these are the calves in the barn, and I'm going to go home and get some dinner. Thank you guys for joining on live, and we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. I think I'm going to start going live when I let the cows out of the barn on YouTube. That way you guys can, if there's something that happens, you guys can catch it, and you won't be excluded from any of that action. But yeah, we'll just try and tell the full story on YouTube, highlights on TikTok, and thank you guys so much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow. How does that sound? So thanks again, guys, and keep you in the loop.